Iti namine namo Krishna Prechaya Bhutale Srimati Iti namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisheta Shunyavadi Paschatya Rishatarini Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisheta Shunyavadi Paschatya Rishatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radhe Shyam, 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 Jaya Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Mai Subhadra, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Mai Subhadra, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Mai Subhadra. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jaya Vishnupada Paramashna Parivala Rashtra Aarti Sadhasi Sevadava Chanayana Bhaktana Chanasilo Aarti Nitya Vishnupada Paramashna Parivala Rashtra Aarti Sadhasi Bhakti Siddhanta Swami Thakur Bhushan Prabhupada Nitya Vishnupada Paramashna Parivala Rashtra श्रीमद गौर कृष्ण दास बाबू महाराज की जय 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 श्री भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबू महाराज की जय नमाचार्य श्री लहरदास ठाकुर की जय मैं प्रेम से कहा श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास श्री गौर भक्तवृंद की जय 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 नमाचार्य संप्रदाय की जय बिना महादेव धाम की जय जय दादा जुगन्नाथ तक बजरंग धाम की जय गौर पार्षद बिंदु की जय श्री श्री दामोदर गोपाल जी की जय दामोदर अष्टकम की जय श्री सत्यवती मुनि की जय always to have some limited correct always to see the guru agar nasi karanga jani thai gaur premanandi
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Hare Krishna. Welcome to today's session. Because this is the month of Kartik, so we don't do Kirtan at the beginning. We will do Damodar Ashtakam at the end after the session. So slightly different schedule than usual. So today we are going to discuss about Govardhan Leela, and we're going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam. So we chant the invocation prayers from Srimad Bhagavatam. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Shakaisha Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
So, how many of you have been to Govardhan Hill before? Seen Govardhan Hill? Nice. We should pray that the rest of us, we should pray we go, and those who have been there, please pray that we get his darshan again. Right? So, last week when we discussed Damodar Leela, in that pastime, there was something very special, was that Krishna just played the role of a small boy, and he didn't exhibit his supremacy, right? His omnipotence was not exhibited at all. Whereas in this Leela, in Govardhan Leela, Krishna exhibits his supremacy. right? But there is so much sweetness as well in this pastime. So there are three lessons to emphasize from Damodar Leela. One is the dangers of pride, what happens when we become too proud. Another is the importance of taking exclusive shelter of Krishna. And another one is Krishna's reciprocation to his devotees, how Krishna reciprocates with his devotees. Right? So, Govardhan is a mountain within the Mathura district. And there were a few conditions for Radharani to come to this earthly planet when Krishna came here. And Govardhan was one of the conditions, that she wanted Govardhan here as well. Only then she would come. One may wonder why. Right? But in the scriptures, it's given that amongst all the places in the universe, the most auspicious is the land of Mathura. Right? And even more auspicious than the land of Mathura are the forests of Vrindavan. But even beyond them is Govardhan. And what is the highest place? Does anybody know? Radha. So Radha is the highest place, where that is considered the supermost place in this material world or in this universe. And next week we will discuss how the appearance of Radha. So we'll discuss that pastime next week. But today we'll focus on Govardhan. Right? You can see the importance of Govardhan. So Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's Krishna himself, was given, he had a Govardhan stone that he wore around his neck all the time. And when he would cry out of love and ecstasy, he would bathe that Govardhan. So he did Abhishek to Govardhan with his very tears. So that should tell us how important Govardhan is. Govardhan was born to Dronachal mountain, right? And he was worshipped by all mountains and known as Giriraj. So Govardhan even to this day is known as Giriraj. Right? There is a pastime for his appearance as well, but once he had appeared, one day Pulastya Muni came to meet Dronachal. He came there and then Dronachal said, "So I'm so fortunate you came. If you want any boon, ask me anything, I will give you." So Pulastya Muni said, "Are you sure? Anything?" He said, "Yes, anything." Then he said, "Then give me your son Govardhan." Because Pulastya Muni was living in the plains next to a river, and he was like, if there's a mountain, then it would give better atmosphere, and I'd be able to do more. It will give a pure place for me to do tapasya. So that was his motivation in asking for Govardhan. So Giriraj said, "Okay, I will come, but only under one condition. You can lift me up now. I will let you lift me now, but once you put me down, I will not be moved from there." So Pulastya Muni said, "Okay, sure, no problem at all." Right? So he lifts up Giriraj and he starts flying towards his ashram. As he's flying, he flies over the land of Vraja. So when Giriraj sees Vraja, he's like, "Oh, this is where I should be." So he becomes heavy. So Pulastya Muni has already been flying for a while. It's evening time, so he normally, takes a bath, does his evening prayers, takes some prasadam, and then so he's like, "Okay, I'm tired, I'm hungry, let me put Giriraj down, and I will do my evening prayers, and then I will resume." So he did that. And in his tiredness, he forgot the promise that he had made, the vow that he had made. So after that, when he tried to lift up Giriraj refused. He said, "No, this was the condition. You put me down here, now I will not move from here." So Pulastya Muni got very angry. So he cursed Giriraj that his size will reduce by one mustard seed every day. So that is the curse. So today, the Govardhan that we see is much smaller than the Govardhan that was 5,000 years ago. So the pastime of Dvijapatnis that happens. So after that, Krishna and Balaram are wandering around, right? They're done after that pastime, they're walking around, and then they see that Nanda Maharaj and all the Brajvasis are very busy doing something, right? So they're doing something really busy. So Krishna then inquires out of curiosity. So this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapter 24, verse 3. I'll read the translation. Lord Krishna said, "My dear father, kindly explain to me what this great endeavor of yours is all about. What is it meant to accomplish? If this is a ritual sacrifice, then for whose satisfaction is it intended and by what means is it going to be executed?" These questions are very instructive to us. We have this habit, especially from India. There are so many rituals and things that people follow, right? Just because somebody told them to. But we should inquire. We should inquire what it is about. What is the purpose of doing this? Right? Then for whose satisfaction are we doing this? We need to ask these questions so that we can understand fully what we are going to do. Even if it is a legitimate prescribed ritual from the scriptures, when you ask and you understand why and you do it, you get better effect out of it. So that is the purpose. So Krishna is giving us an instructive way to ask these questions. So of course, Nanda Maharaj knows, you know how small kids are, little kids are. Right? So Krishna is like between 7 and 8 years old, so he's around 7.5-ish. And so Nanda Maharaj knows if I answer this one question, what will happen? One more question, right? There would be a lot of follow-up questions, and he's like, I'm too busy, I need to focus, so he tries to ignore Krishna. But Krishna is relentless, he keeps pushing, he keeps asking again and again. And finally, Nanda Maharaj was like, okay, I will answer. And he explains. He explains to Krishna that our wealth is the cows. Our survival is based on the cows. And the cows eat grass and other vegetation. And those grow because of rain, and rain comes from Indra. So we are doing this sacrifice to please Indra. So Krishna then asks, is this somewhere in the scriptures? Is it a tradition? Is it a custom? What are we doing? So Nanda Baba says, we've been doing it for so long, so it's become a traditional custom now. So we do it every year, we are doing it again. So then Krishna says, there is no need for all that. Right? He says, actually, let's take a step back before I go into that. So another incident happens just before this, where Indra, over a period of time, because of all the prosperity, he had become his ego had become puffed up. And he had even insulted his own guru in an incident. So Krishna, living in everybody's heart, including Indra's, knows that Indra's heart has become too egoistic. And so Krishna wanted to destroy Indra's pride out of love. Now who's Indra? Indra is the king of demigods, right? He's the king of demigods. Yeah, he's the king of demigods of the heavenly planet. And so Indra had become very puffed up that he was so powerful. He was thinking himself to be the supreme lord, that he was all powerful because he ruled over all the demigods. And Krishna, out of love, wanted to destroy that pride. See, when pride, you will see what pride does to somebody. So, but more critically, if you have pride, it poisons the bhakti lata, the creeper of bhakti that is in our heart. So Krishna, what he does is he then uses a bogus philosophy to convince Nanda Maharaj. He says, what is all this for rain? If you do good things will come. You do good karma, good reactions will come. What is the need of doing this puja for Indra? Indra has to provide rain. That is his duty to provide rain. We do our duty, we will get the results. Indra does his duty, rain will come. So whether we do sacrifice or not, Indra has to provide rain. And then Krishna goes on to say, okay, even if that is the case, you see, Indra provides rain even in the middle of the ocean. It's not like ocean needs any water, and it's not like there is somebody sitting in the middle of the ocean doing yajna to Indra. So there is no need, Father. There is no need for this. Yes. Now, Krishna is using this. There is one big flaw in this philosophy. The big flaw is who created and manages this karmic reaction process. If this process exists, where you get a karmic reaction for anything you do, if this thing exists, somebody has created it in the first place. Somebody is managing it and administering it so that it continues going the way it is supposed to, right? And that, Krishna, this philosophy is known as Karma Mimamsa philosophy, and it doesn't address. And that is the. However, Krishna is speaking this on purpose, right? He wants to teach Indra a lesson. And he wants to teach Indra a lesson in such a way that it will destroy his pride, not just give him a little bit of a reminder. He wants to completely destroy his pride. There is also a learning for us in this, that just because Krishna says something doesn't mean that we should completely blindly follow. Even Krishna's statements must be corroborated. You must understand the context in which he speaks. Without that understanding, we may infer something else, we may do something else that he doesn't intend. And this is an example of a case where we need to understand in what situation he's talking, what is his intent. So Krishna then tells Nanda Maharaj, you're right, cows are our wealth, cows must be cared for us to survive. But if that is the case, then we have some better personality to worship. That better personality is Govardhan. In his name itself it is there. His name is Govardhan, which means one who increases or improves the cows, right? Who grows the cows. So, Krishna says on Govardhan, the mountain, there are streams. The streams they take valuable minerals from the mountain, and that enriched water goes and grows nutritious grass. And all of our cows eat that grass, and they grow better, they grow healthy. Yes, the water nourishes us. He also says, the forests on Govardhan, we can use the trees to build our house, the wood to build our houses. And he explains all this, right? So then Nanda Maharaj and all the elderly Gopas are like, that does make sense. He's right. Now Krishna is, so then they say, okay, no problem, you're right, we should worship Govardhan. But now that we are making preparations for Indra Puja, we will do Indra Puja. Then after some time, after a week or so, next week or so, after some time, we will worship Govardhan. Krishna says, no. Take whatever you're doing for Indra and worship Govardhan with it right away. So Krishna is giving us instruction that one must exclusively worship the Supreme Lord. So Govardhan is a form of the Lord. So there is no point worshipping demigods. Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, Mayeva Vihitam Hitam. Whatever the demigods give you come from me. I am giving it. So this is very instructive to us as well, that we should worship Krishna exclusively. So then Nanda Maharaj says, fine, okay, we will do it. But he asks how to worship. There was no scriptural reference to worshipping Govardhan, right? So Krishna then describes how. Right? He says, make a lot of offerings. Make an annakut, a huge mountain of offerings. Mountain with all the solid foods, lakes and streams with all the liquid foodstuffs. Make all of these offerings, offer it to Govardhan, and then feed the brahmanas, feed the cows, feed everybody. Right? And then he says, after that, he says, we will also go around. We will do, everybody wear your best clothes, and we will do a procession to go around Govardhan. So even to this day, this is followed. So whenever we go to Vrindavan, we should do a parikrama of Govardhan. It is very, very important to do that. So Govardhan parikrama is around 22 kilometers. People do it on foot, people do it in rickshaws, they do different ways, whatever is everybody's capacity. But there are people who offer dandavats and they do parikrama. So, in fact, we have our Acharya Sanatan Goswami did it every day. Right? He used to do every day, he used to do Govardhan parikrama. So Krishna then tells them, Nanda Maharaj is like, okay, I will do that, let's do. So he goes through and they make this huge offering. And Krishna, to show non-difference or no difference between him and Govardhan takes a physical form, not really a personal type form. Right? It's already physical, but a personal type form. And he actually takes the offerings, he eats the offerings. So when the Brajavasis see that, they look at this Govardhan and they're like, oh, that looks just like Krishna. He looks just like Krishna, but much, much bigger. Right? And he's having all this prasada, he's eating all this bhoga offered to him. And Krishna, to prove the importance, actually offered obeisances to Govardhan. So everybody took example of Krishna and they also offered obeisances. Again, he is highlighting the importance, right? Because Krishna himself inaugurated, instructed and performed this puja. It is very, very valuable to do so. So when we do parikrama of Govardhan, we get a huge benefit. Now, since we are halfway around the world, across the world, we can't do it. But if you make an annakut and you go around it 4 times, the effect is considered similar to going around Govardhan. So if you take the temples, ISKCON temples, they all do that. So the temple in Detroit does it, Farmington Hills, Toronto, all these temples will create an annakut and people will go around 4 times, circumambulate the annakut. Then you get the same effect. So Krishna, then they do this, then they go honor prasadam, and then finally festival is nearly concluded, right? Once they are finishing their Govardhan parikrama, festival is nearly done. Everybody is happy, but there is one person who is unhappy, right? Who is that person? Indra, right? Indra is unhappy. Now, Krishna has really instigated Indra, right? Think about it from Indra's perspective. He was supposed to get this offering. This was supposed to be offering made to him. And now, at the words of a 7-year-old boy, they ignored him. And who did they give the offering to? In Indra's mind, a pile of rocks. Right? Now somebody's come to give you some food, and you're like, okay, they give it to somebody else instead of you. Like, okay, you know the other person, they are more senior, you'll be like, okay, no problem, that's the right thing to do, right? But instead of giving you the food, if I go out onto the street, find somebody walking by, give them the food, how would we feel, right? So from certain perspective, Indra's anger is sort of a natural reaction, right? And moreover, if there was a valid reason to do so, that is one thing. But Krishna used a bogus philosophy to further enrage Indra. Right? He wanted to push Indra to the brink, so he will do something very, very uncharacteristic of himself. Because only then Indra will see, Indra has to realize, right? It's very difficult for somebody to understand that they are influenced by high ego. Because everything feels like it's our right? When I have high ego, I'm like, good, that person is doing the right thing, I deserve it, right? That's how we will think. Yes?
Does Indra not know Krishna is the supreme personality?
He does. That's a very interesting question, right? So Indra does know. But keep in mind, if you take Indra, even Brahma Vimohan Leela, even Lord Brahma said Ishvara Parama Krishna, even he knows, right? But when you are when you are so egoistic, you become blind. Ego blinds you to the reality around you. In general, for Indra's in Indra's defense, if you will, is that he knows Supreme Lord as Mahavishnu, right? And not just that, he's seeing a little boy. So Brahma was also removed because of this. He was also confused because he knows the Supreme Lord as all powerful. But when he sees Krishna and young boys jumping on him, defeating him in wrestling, pushing him away and all, Brahma is like, there is no way this is the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord I know is so majestic, so powerful, he can blow away everything. But he doesn't understand the love that goes in that relationship, they don't understand. Because in their mind, they are not, they, are, they worship the Lord in the mode of awe. They have awe and reverence towards the Lord, right? It is like boss, right? Yeah. So
Earlier they used to worship like offer like
The oyster
offer like yagya like
yeah.
yearly, right?
So they do. So it's a ritual. So they do offer, right? So they do it in the mood of awe and reverence. So they do different rituals, like you said, Prabhu. That goes, but they don't have this loving relationship with Krishna. Yes.
Prabhu, also, could there be a possibility that Krishna himself at that moment was trying to not show his supreme, so that Indra even slightly doesn't know that?
No, so Indra himself was blinded. Krishna was not. He didn't realize because Indra thought he was the supreme. So when Indra for a period he thought he was the supreme ruler.
Okay.
Right? When you think that, you cannot acknowledge somebody else as the supreme. Right? If I say I am the supreme, then there cannot be two supremes.
Yeah.
So that never crossed his mind. In his mind, Indra, he was the ruler. Everybody else was a subject for him. Right? So, yeah. So then, so Indra, of course, becomes angry, right? Because Krishna has purposefully instigated him so that he realizes what his position is. So Indra in his anger, this is from Srimad Bhagavatam again, Canto 10, chapter 25, text 1 to 5. 10, 25, 1 to 5. I will only read the translations. Shukadeva Goswami said, My dear King Parikshit, when Indra understood that his sacrifice had been put aside, he became furious with Nanda Maharaj and the other cowherd men who were accepting Krishna as their Lord. Angry Indra sent forth the clouds of universal destruction known as Samvartaka. Imagining himself the supreme controller, he spoke as follows. Text 3. Indra said, Just see how these cowherd men living in the forest have become so greatly intoxicated by their prosperity. They have surrendered to an ordinary human being, Krishna, and thus they have offended the gods. Text 4. Their taking shelter of Krishna is just like the foolish attempt of men who abandon transcendental knowledge of the self and instead try to cross over the great ocean of material existence in the false boats of fruitive ritual sacrifices. Text 5. These cowherd men have acted inimically toward me by taking shelter of this ordinary human being, Krishna, who thinks himself very wise but who is simply a foolish, arrogant, overpopulated child. Now imagine this. If we had gone to our boss and we had called them this, what would happen? Right? That is what Indra is doing. See, when we become proud, it blinds us and it robs us of our intelligence. We overestimate our capabilities and we end up hurting and pushing away everybody around us. Right? So, we just said Indra had a sort of a legitimate reason to be upset, right? Because Krishna purposefully did it. But there is also something that you have to do, that the reaction or the consequence of an injustice should be proportionate to the injustice, right? So Indra made a mistake, big mistake there as well. So what he did, he sent Samvartaka. Samvartaka is the cloud that is actually meant to inundate this creation when it is end of Brahma's day. So all the lower planets get flooded on the end of Brahma's day. So that inundation happens with this Samvartaka. So when that has to happen, so that cloud is not meant to be used anyway. But Indra wanted to kill all the cows and all the people in Vraja to teach them a lesson. And he sent the Samvartaka. And that was a big, big blunder, right? That is not proper. So he sends them. Now, the clouds were initially very hesitant, right? The clouds were very hesitant to do this. But because it was Indra, and Indra said, go, I will also come. So the clouds were like, okay. So they did, and when the rain started pouring, it was like pillars of water coming down. All the cows and all the Vrajavasis were very scared. And when they are scared, who do they turn to? When they are happy, who do they turn to? No matter what it is with them, they will always turn to Krishna. Right? That is their specialty. So they turn to Krishna. And so when all these, as they are going, the scriptures explain that people were starting to get submerged. Right? When they go to Krishna. Now, you should also think, right? They know who's causing this. The Vrajavasis know it is because they spurned Indra, that they didn't give Indra, so he must be upset and he is causing this. So a logical reaction could have been that they pray to Indra and ask for forgiveness. Right? But no. From their perspective, they only wanted to go to Krishna, who is their only shelter, no matter what. So they go to Krishna, right? And Krishna save us, right? And even for us, when we are caught up in our day-to-day storms that are troubling us, we should only go to Krishna. Why? Because his protection is perfect. With demigods, it is a transaction. So if you do the yajna, you get this. If you do this, you get that. But with Krishna as our Father, that is not the case. See, we've been ignoring him so much. And still, when one time we turn to him, he comes running to us. He's waiting eagerly for us. Right? So we should also always only take exclusive shelter of Krishna, because then he can protect fully. His power is complete. Krishna says that he is the master of everything. And when we go to him for protection, we can find real peace and happiness. So they go, and it's the only way to find peace, by the way. Right? There is no other way to find peace other than under Krishna's shelter. So Krishna says, okay, let's go to Govardhan. And Acharya's comment, when Krishna steps out of his porch, all the water dried up. They also explain that not one drop of water fell on him. The Samvartaka clouds were also parted, and not one drop of rain fell on him. And he walks up to Govardhan, and he lifts Govardhan. Now, Govardhan was 16 miles high and 64 miles long at that time. That was Govardhan's size. And Krishna lifted Govardhan. He didn't, do some stretches, try something to warm up his body. He didn't use some powder or something, right, to help give him grip. He didn't even use his strong hand. Right? He used he doesn't have a strong and weak hand, but he didn't even use his right hand. Not even his left hand. The left pinky. In fact, our acharyas explain he didn't even need the left pinky. He actually used the nail of his left pinky to lift up and hold this huge mountain for 7 days and 7 nights. The scriptures explain just like an elephant lifts up a flower, that is how Krishna lifted up this Govardhan. No effort, nothing. Right? Now, you may ask, why lift Govardhan? What is the benefit of lifting Govardhan? When it rains, it will provide an umbrella shelter. Right? But there is one problem it won't solve. What is that? Sorry?
The flood.
Flood, yeah, the water, right? It won't solve the water and the flood. Krishna is lifting up Govardhan, that's fine, but what about the water on the ground? But as I just explained, the moment he lifted up Govardhan, all the water was dried away. Right? Now, Krishna could have blown away the clouds himself and dried away the water. Why then lift Govardhan? There are two reasons, or at least two of the reasons I can explain. One is in Ram Leela, when the monkeys were trying to build the bridge to go to Lanka. The monkeys kept coming further and further north to bring more and more stuff. So much so that Hanumanji went all the way to Govardhan. And he saw, oh, such a big mountain well before the Himalayas. If I take this one mountain, we can build the whole bridge. So he was about to lift up the mountain and he got a message saying, no, done, all done, come back. Right? So while this was going on, Giriraj was like so thrilled. He's like, oh, I'm going to be used in my Lord's service. I'm so happy. And then when Hanumanji left, he was very disappointed. So Krishna wanted to give him that satisfaction. Another reason was that, in Indra's mind, he was thinking Govardhan is just a pile of rocks. But he wanted to show Indra that all his might and power can do nothing to Govardhan. Govardhan's power is worth much more than Indra's, and he wanted to teach Indra that lesson. But the most important reason he lifted up Govardhan was all these Brajvasis, they were extremely happy, but they had only one lamentation, which was forced to be separated from Krishna. So in the morning, Yashodamai dresses Krishna, and while she's dressing Krishna and getting him ready, all the cowherd boys are banging on the door saying, Krishna, come, come, come. Right? They are in a hurry. They want Krishna because they know their time will end when it is sunset. They have to come back. So they are banging the door asking for Krishna. Yashodamai is doing things very slow. She doesn't want to dress him quickly because she knows the moment she dresses him, he will go away. Then she'll have to wait. And the elderly gopis are the same way. Once he goes, they're all waiting and watching to see when the dust comes in the horizon. So they know Krishna is coming back and they can watch him coming back. The younger gopis are waiting for night time because that's when they can be with Krishna. They don't want morning to come. So every single person in Raja had that one lamentation. That yes, we have Krishna, but it is interrupted for some reason or the other. I want uninterrupted association or engagement with my Lord. That is what they all wanted. So this pastime fulfills that desire. You know how? So when Krishna lifted up Govardhan, it is said that he asked all the Vrajavasis to come under. Now, if I lift up this laptop or if I lift up something and I say, come stand under it, how many of you will come and stand under it, right? Or sit under it? Nobody, right? If you're saying you wouldn't. Because you know at some point I'm going to drop it or something will happen, right? You won't put yourself, if somebody is lifting something, you won't go put your head under that, no matter how much you trust them, right? But these Vrajavasis, a 7-year-old boy lifting a huge mountain with one finger and they went under. That is trust. That is faith. One of the 6 tenets of surrender is Rakshishyati iti Vishwasa. You have full faith that Krishna will protect. And they had that. Right? You have to imagine what level of faith and trust it takes to do this. That is why they are incredible devotees. That is why they are so glorious. Because they put themselves willingly in harm's way simply out of love for Krishna. They don't care about anything else. Right? So they went, and the scriptures explain when Krishna lifted up Govardhan, under there were stairs, there was like a big hall under Govardhan, there were pillars with emeralds in them, there were marble floors, and there were there were marble floors, and people were like shocked. Right? So they're like, oh, this is so nice. So they go in and they lift up. So Krishna is lifting up Govardhan, they are all under, and in that time, they are standing and they're all watching Krishna. They're sitting or standing and they're all watching Krishna. Now there are thousands and thousands of people. Right? Nanda Maharaj alone had 900,000 cows. Now imagine all the others. So there were millions of cows, thousands and thousands of people. But they all got up close personal darshan of Krishna. For everybody, it was like Krishna is right in front of you. You know, when we go to a temple or to some festival or some fair or something, you jostle your way through the crowd, you go to the front, some people get a good view, some people get a bad view, some people get a restricted view for 2 seconds, they get a good view, move on. Right? In India, big temples, it's very common. You stand in a long line, you go in the front and you're just moved out and you next one, right? But here, all of them could see the Lord face to face, right in front of them, personal. They could feel, they could watch the Lord's beautiful threefold bending form, right? They could see his skin like dark cloud with his striking yellow garments like lightning on the back on a dark cloud. They could see how his neck was, they could see the 3 lines on his neck. They could see everything. They were just enjoying Krishna's beauty. So much so that they did not feel hunger or thirst or sleep for 7 days and 7 nights. They were completely blissfully absorbed in that exchange. That is the type of pleasure that we have access to in the spiritual world. See, in this material world, anything we take, the pleasure keeps reducing. But in the spiritual world, your interaction is with the unlimited Supreme. There is absolutely no reason for that pleasure to go down at all. Right? So, Krishna has unlimited ability to reciprocate, unlike us or unlike anything else in this material world. So he reciprocated accordingly. But he only reciprocates according to the level of our surrender. The Brajavasi surrender we talked about, it was absolute and complete. So he gave himself to them. So our level of surrender and our level of worship will determine how much reciprocation. He always reciprocates more than we do. But to get this level of complete reciprocation from Krishna is possible. You just have to follow the footsteps of great devotees and get there. Right? So they enjoyed for 7 days, no interruption, nothing. They didn't want anything else. Right? And then at the end of 7 days and 7 nights, after all the rain and everything, the clouds are completely exhausted. They are done. They have no more water to pour. Indra realizes and Indra looks around. So he's used his entire power for 7 days and 7 nights, right? Even the emergency power he is used, right? That is supposed to bring destruction of this creation he is used. But Acharyas explain not a single leaf was moved from a tree on Govardhan. So not only people under the hill were protected, even Govardhan himself he could not even move a single leaf from a tree. And Indra, when he first came and did it, when the first he sent his army or his clouds, they said, somebody came back and reported nothing is happening. Right? We are pouring water, but nothing is happening. It's even like the dust mites growing there, right? So they have nothing is going on. So Indra is like, how can that be? I will also come. So Indra also comes, he brings his Vajra, his thunderbolt, and he's hurling thunderbolts and everything. And still nothing happened. So Indra was completely tapped out, fully exhausted. Right? And he couldn't move a single leaf. So imagine, right, there is Indra's position. His pride is completely smashed. He has understood that there is somebody more superior to him. Right? He remembered that there is a Supreme Lord and he is not supreme. Now, we may think, this Indra, you shouldn't think less of Indra. We also have similar tendencies. It builds up slowly, quietly over time. But because this was Indra, a great personality, the Supreme Lord himself came and created this pastime to teach him a lesson. Right? And Indra, that is Indra's position. So when somebody gives you instructions for something, you take the most clearest possible, highest profile example to explain to people. So that is why Indra was chosen for this. So Krishna taught him this lesson. And we should learn also. Right? So the residents, so after all this, the residents left. So Krishna told them, everything is done now. You're safe, please go home. So all the residents left glorifying Krishna. Right? And while they went back, and Indra then was very remorseful, right? He was afraid actually. He was scared and remorseful. He's like, I have offended the Supreme Lord. What can I do? So he immediately reaches out to Lord Brahma and he says, please help. What can I do now? I have offended the Supreme Lord. What can I do now? So Brahma tells him, go to Surabhi, Mother Surabhi cow, and take her with you. Krishna loves cows, so if you take her, she will mediate for you. So he goes to Surabhi cow, and by then his ego is fully gone, right? His pride is smashed. So he pays obeisances to Surabhi cow, and he's like, please help. And she's like, okay, I will come. So she goes, and after everyone has left, Krishna goes to one isolated place. Krishna could have done this. He knows Indra will come, and he went to an isolated place. See, Krishna's intent, he didn't want to insult Indra. Krishna had only one objective, to destroy Indra's ego, to protect him. Right? Now that Indra's ego is gone, he had no reason to inflict anything on Indra, right? So Krishna is not a vengeful, that sometimes in some story there is a vengeful God, right? No, Krishna is a very merciful, loving God. So now that Indra is okay, Krishna went to an isolated place where Indra could come and he wouldn't be insulted further. So Indra came first. Mother Surabhi came. She spoke to Krishna, and then she asked Indra to come. And Krishna was not angry at Indra. I wanted to teach you a lesson. Now that you have learned the lesson, don't forget. Right? So Indra then worships or does Abhishek to Krishna with the milk from Surabhi cow. and then he goes away. Now, when when Indra comes, he chants some wonderful prayers. So, a few minutes, so we'll read at least the initial portion of it. So, this is Canto 10, chapter 27, verse 2 to 4. No, actually, I can, yeah. I'll read the translations of text 2 now. So 10:27 2. Indra was very ashamed of having offended the Lord. Approaching him in a solitary place, Indra fell down and laid his helmet, whose effulgence was as brilliant as the sun, upon the Lord's lotus feet. Text 3. Indra had now heard of and seen the transcendental power of omnipotent Krishna, and his false pride in being the Lord of the three worlds was thus defeated. Holding his hands together in supplication, he addressed the Lord as follows. Text 4. King Indra said, "Your transcendental form, a manifestation of pure goodness, is undisturbed by change, shining with knowledge and devoid of passion and ignorance. In you does not exist the mighty flow of the modes of material nature, which is based on illusion and ignorance." See, passion and ignorance is very, very significant. When we are under the modes of passion, what do? We overestimate our capability. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, right? But when we are under the mode of ignorance, what do? We underestimate our capabilities. This is not something I can do. I'm not going to bother doing it, right? Both of those are bad. So Indra's pointing out for Krishna, no such thing exists. He is not affected by these modes of nature, right? His form is pure goodness, shining with knowledge, and it is undisturbed by change. So Krishna is full and perfect, and he can give that perfect protection. So no matter which demigod you are worried you used to worship, if you decide to stop and worship Krishna, you will get perfect protection. Even if you don't want to stop, it's okay. Start worshipping Krishna, you will get more protection. Right? That should be our objective, to start worshipping Krishna and eventually get to start loving him as well. So, after they did the Abhishek, they used so much milk that it formed a pond. And that pond exists to this day. It's called Govardhan. So it's auspicious to go there and take darshan and sprinkle. There are 4 chapters dedicated to this Govardhan Leela in Bhagavatam. And Govardhan is non-different from Krishna. Krishna showed that this was the one event that he prescribed, instructed, and followed himself as well. Right? I'll repeat the key lessons. Humility is the way to success in bhakti. One cannot progress without humility. We have to understand our real position and behave accordingly. Okay? And Krishna is our only shelter. He is always there when we need him. We only need to have the right desires and motivations. Right? If we have the right desire, he will fulfill. That is what he's been doing for all Brajvasis. Their desires are pure and perfect, and he always fulfills them. And Krishna will always protect us. It may be through Giriraj, lifting Giriraj, it may be through a slab, or it may be through a river. We do not know. Many times when we face obstacles, we are like, why is this happening to me? Why is Krishna doing this to me and all that, right? But we only see the obstacle. We don't know what is behind the obstacle. It may be a ditch there that is preventing us. So this obstacle may be a protection for us rather than an obstacle. We just don't have the perspective to know. So we have to have faith in Krishna, and we have to pray to him for protection, and we have to go to him. Right? If we desire to become a pure devotee, then all his power will help us get there. Right? See, the residents of Vraja ran to a 7-year-old boy for protection against the king of heaven. Right? Like this protector pointed out, he was the king of heaven. They ran to him for protection from king of heaven. And how much power Krishna had? It was Indra couldn't do anything. Right? The Vrajavasis spent 7 days doing nothing but exclusively enjoying Krishna's beauty and association. It said Anandashesh with all his mouths has been singing glories of Krishna, but he cannot finish. They are unlimited. That is the personality that Srila Prabhupada has given us the ability to learn more about, has given us the ability to access. Just by being here today, just by participating and listening in the month of Kartik, just by chanting, just by offering the ghee lamp, you will all make such significant progress, right, towards Krishna. But we need to keep building on it. So that was the content. Any questions or comments, please? Yes.
I've heard about, is it Garuda?
Garuda, I guess.
Is he associated with Indra, or is that?
No, so Garuda is, so all of these great personalities, they all have we call it Vahan, but like a vehicle or like a carrier. So Garuda is Vishnu's or Krishna's carrier.
Oh.
Yeah. Indra's carrier is Airavata, the elephant. Indra rides on an elephant. Vishnu rides on Garuda.
Is Vishnu also Krishna?
Yes, so Krishna is, Ishopanishad explains that the Supreme Lord is full and complete. He is so full and complete that even if you take one hole out of him, all the parts remain full and complete. Right? It is a spiritual man. The verse was Om Purnamadaha Purnamida. So we call, in English, we call it plenary portions. So if I take a candle and I light another candle with that, both the flame in both the candles, there's really no difference. Just that one was lit before the other. Right? So all Vishnu is considered to be a plenary portion of Krishna. So there are many, many such forms that Krishna takes, and Vishnu is one of them. Any other questions or comments?
You said Annakutra.
Yeah.
What exactly I'm not familiar.
Okay, so when Krishna said, actually there is a description of this as well. So Anna means food. Food means a mountain. Annakut is a mountain of food. So Krishna's, when they asked him how to do this worship, he actually gave, there is description. They made huge number of chapatis were on the floor, then the rice formed the next layer, all the savories formed beyond. There's actually a description of how to form this mountain of food. And things like ghee were like streams, the pies and all these keels were like lakes. So the Annakut is basically like a mountain of food. If you have not been, you should go. I'm sure they do it in the Farmington Temple as well, but I know in the Detroit Temple, they do that. So all the temples, ISKCON temples, they will do it. Because the speciality is if you do the Annakut and you go around it 4 times, you get the same result of going around Govardhan. So it's one of the best festivals. And the best part is at the end, after it, everybody just, you take your own piece of the mountain and you can eat. It is a lot of
There are so many items, like so many vegetables, different type of prasadams are there.
Yeah.
It's like a mountain. And it's
So
one
it's
of the famous festivals.
Correct. It's a wonderful festival, so you should go if you can cross. Then the Detroit Temple is like 40 minutes from here. The closest, I don't know if the centers do it. I'm sure Toronto Temple does it. I don't know if the other centers do it or not. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I just want to ask, I'm sorry for asking,
Yeah.
is that during the whole Leela, the Brajavasis, when they ask for help from Krishna, and in other Leelas as well, do they look Krishna? Did they ever look at Krishna as this the supreme personality of Godhead, or they just looked at someone they can trust without caring about the supreme personality of Godhead?
Yeah, very good question. Right?
I think
For,
they-
for them, for them, Krishna is everything. And he's not everything because he's the Supreme Lord. He's everything because they love him. They don't care that he's the Supreme Lord. They don't care who he is. They love him for who he is, not because of what his position is. So they go to Krishna not because they feel like he's more powerful than Indra, so he can protect. They go to Krishna because that is the only thing they know to do. Right? You go to the person you love for protection. When they are happy, they go to Krishna to celebrate. When they are sad, they go to Krishna. Any emotion they have, they don't care. They always go to Krishna. So they didn't go. It's a very intelligent question because when you think about it, we worship Krishna because he is the Supreme Lord and he can offer us perfect protection. Right? That's why we worship Krishna. Most of us, at least. Right? I should not say very generically, but most of us worship Krishna because of that. That he can give us anything or he can protect us. We have one of these reasons. But for Rajvasis, they don't care about anything. They don't want anything. They don't need anything. They just go to Krishna out of love. All they want to do is please Krishna. And when you do that, like I was saying, Krishna says he reciprocates accordingly. So when we go to Krishna to say, Krishna, I want this, it's very easy for Krishna to give us that. Right? Dhruv Maharaj, when he did his penances and he saw Mahavishnu, and Mahavishnu said, ask for a boon. And Dhruv Maharaj says, I was so foolish. I came to this diamond and I used diamond to try and get pieces of broken glass. Right? He's saying, I got access to you, but I started pursuing this bhakti out of desire for material things. So I'm coming to a diamond and asking for pieces of broken glass. So it's very easy for Krishna to give material things. But when somebody goes to him, pleases him, and doesn't want anything, then he doesn't know what to do. Right? He reciprocates in the same way, so he gives himself. That is a very special relationship. So for them, Krishna has given himself. And they go to him for every single thing, and not because he's the Supreme Lord. Yeah. Can speak more and more on that. It's a wonderful thought, right? We should nurture this thought. That at some point, no matter where we start, we all have a right to worship Krishna. Our access to Krishna is ours and ours forever. It will never go away. Why? Because he's our Father. Krishna says, Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya Murtaya Sambhavanti Tasham Brahma Mahadyoni Aham Bija Pradapita. He says that all the entities who appear in this world come by taking birth. Mother is material nature, and I am the seed-giving father. So no matter what happens to us, no matter what we do, our relationship with Krishna as Father is permanent.
Like a guardian, like permanent guardian.
Always there. It never goes away. We just have to look. Prabhupada used to say we are all children of millionaires and we have forgotten that and we are begging on the street. All we have to do is just go back to him, then we will feel happiness that comes. Right? So our access to Krishna is there. We don't need to be as pure as Brajavasis to get access to Krishna. But if we start using that access, how do we use it? We engage everything in service of Krishna. Rishikena Rishikesha Seva. When we do that, we start to become purified. One of the most powerful processes is chanting. When we chant, we become purified. Cheto Darpana Marjana. Just like a mirror is clouded, when you try to see a dirty mirror, you can't see anything. But the mirror's property still exists. You just need soap and a scrub to scrub it clean, then you will see reflection. Our nature of being full of joy is there, but it is covered with dirt, with all these material things, with all our desires, all our things are covering it. If we slowly clean it or clean it fast if we can, but we clean it, eventually we will start to become that happy person because we will revive our connection with Krishna. We will awaken our connection with Krishna. The process of bhakti is not giving us something new or foreign to us. It's like learning to walk. It's not foreign to us, it's there in us. It's just coming out. Innate abilities coming out. Bhakti is similar. Even though when we practice, it may seem like it is against everything we do, it's so difficult, but it is actually awakening our innate love for God. Yeah? Any other questions or comments? Okay. So I know we have time, so it's nice. So we'll quickly do one round of chanting. It should take us like 5 minutes. We'll chant a little bit fast so that we'll have time to do Damodar Aarti as well. And thank you so much for your time and attention today during the class. Please forgive me if I misspoke something. When you take the beat, you hold the central beat, that is called Krishna Mani. You start from in front of it and you go all the way around to 108. We'll chant one mantra first, you repeat after me, and then the Maha Mantra we will chant together. Okay? Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya,
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya,
Prabhu Nityananda,
Prabhu Nityananda,
Shri Advaita Gadadhara,
Shri Advaita Gadadhara,
Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda,
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Jai.
So now we'll sing Damodar Ashtakam and offer Leela. We'll all take turns to offer Leela. Yes. So the Damodar Ashtakam is on this, so you can see this and sing along. We'll try and move this out of the way. Thank you.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Chant the prasadam first. Please repeat after me. Mahaprasade Govinde.
Mahaprasade Govinde.
Namo Brahmane Vaishnave.
Namo Brahmane Vaishnave.
Swalpa Punyavatam Rajan. Vishwaso Neva Jayate.
Vishwaso Neva Jayate.
Sharira Avidyata.
Sharira Avidyata.
Jodendriya Sahika.
Jovendriya Sahika.
Jive Kale Vishay Sagre.
Jive
Taramade Jivati.
Taramate Jivati.
Lokomoy Sudurmati.
Lokomoy Sudurmati.
Take Jeta Katina Samsare.
Take Jeta Samsare.
Krishna Bala Doyamoy.
Krishna Bala Doyamoy.
Kori Vari Jivajay.
Kori Vari Jivajay.
Swaprasada Nadilo Bhai.
Swaprasada Nadilo Bhai.
Sayanamrita Pao.
Sayanamrita Pao.
Radha Krishna Guna Gao.
Radha Krishna Guna Gao.
Premi Dato Chaitanya Nitai. Jaini Mai Jaini Tai.
Jaini Mai Jaini Tai.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Prabhu Nityananda.
Prabhu Nityananda.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara.
Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama.
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Mahaprasadam ki
Jai.
Prasadam.